Leveraged index arbitrage is a financial strategy created by Darren Sugiyama for high net worth individuals, privately held corporations, and 501c3 charitable foundations. Darren is one of the most respected advisors in the financial services industry. Darren is a 9-time published author with his literary works currently being distributed in 15 different countries, in Asia, Europe, and both North and South America. In this webinar, Darren will explain how the different components of leveraged index arbitrage work, as well as articulate the tax benefits and the benefits of leverage. Let's go ahead and start the webinar.
Leveraged index arbitrage is based on a financial strategy that clients with net worths in excess of $25 million have been implementing for the last 3 decades. Now historically, access to platforms like this have been really restricted to decamillionaires, centimillionaires, and billionaires. But in 2018, I was able to get this platform approved to offer it to clients with substantially lower net worth amounts. Now, the platform uses a combination of a risk mitigation feature, kind of like a stop loss feature, to protect clients from market crashes, as well as leverage. In other words, using a bank's capital to maximize compounding in the early years. So in today's webinar, I'm going to go through each component of leveraged index arbitrage and explain how it works and also explain why it works. So before I do that, we're going to watch a brief 3-minute video clip of Tony Robbins recounting his experience interviewing hedge fund billionaire Ray Dalio. Now, Ray Dalio runs Bridgewater Associates, one of the largest hedge funds in the world. And when asked what elements he uses in his hedge fund, Dalio mentions 3 main elements that we use: leverage, risk mitigation, and backtesting. So let's take a look at this brief 3-minute video clip.
Ray Dalio, the largest hedge fund in the world, 160 billion. A big hedge fund's 15 billion. When I was coaching him, when I was talking to him, he got a phone call from the premier of China who was asking for some coaching on some decisions they're making for China's currency, right? It was just, I know I got a chance to be with literally the Da Vinci of investing. Most average people never heard his name, but you have to have 10 years ago, you should have a $5 billion net worth, and you had to give him $100 million to start with for him to talk to you. Today, he won't talk to you and take your money no how much money you have. He's closed his fund out. He won't do a dime more. So in the end, he actually gave me a strategy that I said to him, I said, look, I said, Ray, I said, you're one of the most generous men I know. I said, you've just given me this incredible strategy, but the strategy was like explaining why most people lose money, and here's how he's made money in every market, right? Pretty complex strategy. And I said, the strategy's great, but it's kind of like you told me you want to build a chocolate cake, get some chocolate, get some sugar. You didn't tell me the amounts. I mean, the amounts are everything, right? Get the right amounts. And he goes, Tony, I can't give you that. That's my secret sauce. And I said, Ray, you can give it to me. He goes, I can't. He goes, that's what I get, that's why, I get the money I do. I said, no, you don't. You haven't taken money for 10 years. I said, you're going to give away half your net worth anyway. I said, you just got done telling me the average guy is never going to do this. Help me out. Give me your secret sauce, right? And I got him laughing. He goes, well, Tony, it's kind of complex. I said, I'm good at taking complex and making it simple. He goes, well, I use leverage. I said, create one without leverage so the average guy could do it.
Right.
And then I got this chill down the back of my spine when he said, well, it wouldn't be perfect. I said, your idea not perfect is better than anybody else on earth. I said, tell me. And then I took out a pen and just said, tell me the numbers, right? He looked at me and goes, well, let's try this. And he starts to lay this thing out. So when I'm done, I can feel vibration in my body. Like I got something nobody's got that I can give to the world that'll be extraordinary. And he goes, go test that. He goes, don't, when people talk about testing, they look back 5 years or 10 years. He said, but the past doesn't equal the future that way. But if you were to test something over 75 years, the entire modern time of history, that's what you should test that formula. Back test it for 75 years, come back and tell me what you get. 85% of the time, it's for 75 years. Think of how much the world has changed in the last 10 years or 20 years. 85% of the time it makes money. The 15% of the time it didn't. The maximum drawdown in 75 years was not 20% like you've seen at 30 or 40, you've seen in the marketplace over the years. 3.9%. The average loss is 1.7, average gain is 10%. So if you could go to Vegas and you could be right 85% of the time, and when you lost only lose, 1%, 1.7%, you'd be investing a little bit, you'd be gambling a little bit, right?
So Ray Dalio mentions 3 main elements that we use in leveraged index arbitrage. obviously leverage, risk mitigation, in other words, limiting your downside, and back testing, doing the due diligence to see how a particular financial strategy would have performed throughout several different historical periods in time. The one major element he didn't mention was the effect that taxes play in the long run, which I'll address in this webinar as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So there are 5 major advantages in the leveraged index arbitrage platform. Those 5 advantages include tax-free gains, tax-free drawdown retirement income, risk mitigation. We use responsible leverage, and the platform does increase certainty for the client. Let's go ahead and review each one of these 5 major benefits. We'll start with the tax-free gains. So to learn more about why the gains in leveraged index arbitrage are tax-free, go ahead and watch the next video below.